Greetings, comrades. Welcome to All Power to the People podcast on Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself Internet Radio via the Huddle Team app. We meet every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We discuss local, national, and global events that impact the material conditions of the people and provide viable solutions. We are here to find those tired of the way their lives are socially constructed. As Panthers, we use dialectic materialism. As Dr. Huey P. Newton stated, power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. From combating the housing crisis to police patrols, we are the vanguard in place to serve our communities. The purpose of this program is to highlight contradictions in the electoral process, which Western culture calls politics. Politics is the struggle for resources. Participating in America's electoral process has only taken resources from the people and handed it to the oligarchs and the professional managerial class that serve them by maintaining the status quo through coercion. We know that power lies with the people, and it is our duty to organize and educate the community so that they can fight for their own liberation. So please, join us every Sunday at 12 p.m. You can join by downloading the Huddle Team app, join online, or call in. The app and joining online is free, but if you call in, standard messaging rates may apply. Links to the show will be provided in the caption. This is General Secretary Patience of the new Afrikan Black Panther Party, NAB PP North. All power to the people.
Let me see.
A party that gardens together stays together. This is the People's Garden. We are setting up. From help of our good friend, Sergio. It's part of the United Panther Movement. The United Panther Movement are those who believe in our 10-point program, which is basically providing services to the community. Free breakfast program, free food program, free health clinic, pig patrols, and we have programs for the kids, after school programs, summer camps. We do all of this because we understand the importance and the needs of the people. So we're planning the community garden. This is the garden for the people. But we need help. We need help from you guys. So join the United Panther Movement. To learn more, contact General Secretary Patience at 862-283-9917 or email patiencerow@yahoo.com. That is in PATHEROW@yahoo.com. To help support the work we do, please send donations to Cash App, $ I live for the people, or Venmo /Zelle at phone number 862 283 9917. This is General Secretary Patience of the New African Black Panther Party, NAB PP North. All power to the people.
Chapter 11. The need for service rather than leadership. In this untoward situation, the Negro finds himself at the close of the third generation from emancipation. He has been educated in the sense that persons directed a certain way are more easily controlled, or as Ovid remarked, in time the bull is brought to bear the yoke. The Negro in this state continues as a child. He is restricted in his sphere to small things, and with these he becomes satisfied. His ambition does not rise any higher than to plunge into the competition with his fellows for these trifles. At the same time, those who have given the race such false ideals are busy in the higher spheres from which Negroes, by their miseducation and racial guidance, have been disbarred. Examples of this failure of the miseducated Negro to have high ideals may be cited. The author has known numerous cases of Negro lawyers, physicians, and businessmen who, while attending local Sunday schools, churches, and lodges, have fallen out about trifles like a resolution or the chairmanship of a committee, which so embittered them as to make themselves enemies for life and stumbling blocks preventing any such thing as organization or community cooperation. It is a common occurrence to see a Negro well situated as a minister or teacher aspiring to a political appointment which temporarily pays little more than what he's receiving and offers no distinction except that of being earmarked as a Jim Crow job set aside for some Negro who has served well the purposes of the bosses as a ward healer in a campaign. Negroes who have begun promising business enterprises sometimes abandon them temporarily for the same sort of empty honor. In this way, they have been known to hamper their business by incurring the displeasure of ambitious politicians who might otherwise patronize them. Negroes of this point of view have developed in that part of the country where it is thought that
let's start like right there, right from the beginning. That's important. I gotta get back focused. I gotta get back focused.
For service rather than leadership.
The need for service rather than leadership. Most of the time in our communities, everybody think the way how you service the community is by leading them, by telling them what to do, by writing books, explaining explaining their shortcomings. Like just talking to the people, keep talking to the people, telling them everything that they're doing wrong, everything that's wrong with them. But you're not putting no work in. You're not doing no work. You're not working for the people. You're not providing nothing. You're not giving them nothing. All you're doing is just talking. He's gonna go on to expound on that, to talk more about the talking. That's what most of them do. That call themselves leaders in our community. They bring no resources, nothing into the community. They build no institutions. They don't work for the people at all. They service the people in no way, in no fashion. But they call themselves leaders. He's about to go on to start talking about when these people, when they meet, when we come together and we say we're trying to do stuff for the community, you bring different leaders, different people from different organizations. Like they come and sit down to start working on plans to help the people in the community. And when they get there, they worry about their selfish needs, why they came there, what they came there to get. Like when you go to City Hall, the people that are in the back and in whatever you want to call it, like, I don't know, the one that's sitting down listening to the council people. Those people that are sitting there, most of them are politically affiliated. It's not the normal residents. The normal residents rarely go there. But the people that sit there, they're politically affiliated. Like they're people out of power. They're trying to get into power. It's like, and these are the people that are supposed to be like the activists in the city. So when you sit down to talk about stuff to do to serve the people in the community, they're trying to position themselves how for them to be the next one that's getting elected, how to use what we're doing in that space to get them elected into office. And that's kind of what he's talking about. And he's about to go into it because I started it over. But I just wanted to say that most of the time, people think coming being an activist or working for the people means you're coming in there to lead them. No, it means you're coming in there to serve the people, to tie the sneakers. We have an after school program to tie the sneakers of the kids, to wipe their nose, talk to them, listen to them, understand what they're saying, understand where they're coming from. I mean, like that's what your job is as a leader. You're there to serve, and in you serving the people, they'll learn to have trust in you because they've seen you do it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. They've seen that you've been there by their side, serving them, picking up their children, creating institutions for their children, teaching their children how to farm, garden, providing groceries to people that don't have groceries. I'm talking about not making them stand online, not like trying to take the shame and everything away from them, taking the groceries to their house and putting it on the front door, like telling them like, yo, the food is here, all you gotta do is open your door and take it. It takes away all of the shame. Like some people feel shame. They don't want to go out and get food. They don't want to admit that they need it. Yo, ain't no shame in my game. Your food is too expensive. On everything, food is too expensive. Your gas is too expensive. Rent is too expensive. Yeah, we shouldn't be paying what you call it, half of our income towards rent. We shouldn't be doing that. That's crazy. That should be illegal. It used to be illegal, but they've made it legal. I mean, so people out here can't find a place to say, you have to serve the people. You have to show them ways for them to be able to shelter themselves. They don't have ways to eat, to feed themselves, to take care of themselves. You got to show them how. Yeah, man. Hey, look, that's tough right there, too. Mm. But look, ain't no sound booth in here. We're in our house. I'm in the low dent area in the house. There's no sound booth. There's no keeping out the noise. We don't have no speakers. There's none of that. We don't have nothing. All we got is a computer, and we're able to talk to you through the mic. And I'm looking at the screen. I mean, like, we're not rich. We don't have the money. We don't have the MSNBC studio. All we have is us and the ability to communicate. Hell, decades ago, generations ago, they didn't have this ability for them to be able to talk, be able to organize, be able to share ideas from plantation to plantation, from city to city, state to state. The whole globe, the whole entire globe, we could meet and talk. That's the only reason why I'm here. Yo, I apologize for the noise. People gonna drive by, you're gonna hear the police noise, you're gonna hear all of that. That's the hood. We don't have nothing to stop the sound from coming in here. I mean, but all we got is this knowledge right here. We go back and we read and we study from these people to understand how we can move forward. Because that's what culture, that's what civilization is all about. And the first thing, this is chapter 11. The first thing he's saying in this chapter right here is learning how to serve the people. Because that's how you lead the people. I mean, but I'm going to play the rest of it. I'm going to cut in. It's only 12 minutes. I'm going to cut in here and there.
In this untoward situation, the Negro finds himself at the close of the third generation from emancipation. He has been educated in the sense that persons directed a certain way are more easily controlled, or as Ovid remarked, in time the bull is brought to bear the yoke. The Negro in this state continues as a child. He is restricted in his sphere to small things, and with these he becomes satisfied. His ambition does not rise any higher than to plunge into the competition with his fellows for these trifles. At the same time, those who have given the race such false ideals are busy in the higher spheres from which Negroes, by their miseducation and racial guidance, have been disbarred. Examples of this failure of the miseducated Negro to have high ideals may...
Nah, right there what he's talking about. He's talking about the misleadership in our community. Like the people that tell us in our community what we need, the people that tell us in our community that we should be worried about abortion rights. We should be worried about abortion rights instead of eating and having a place to stay. Yo, nobody's saying abortion rights is wrong. Yo, all women, any woman, whoever you are, you should have the right to do whatever with your body, whatever you want. Seriously, you should be able to. And like, I even go a little further. Like, if you're having a kid with somebody, if me and you having a kid, me and the woman having a kid, yeah, we both like should be part of that decision. I mean, I should be part of it. I mean, that's how I feel personally, and I think that's logical. Like you can't just exclude somebody, but at the end of the day, a person body is a person body. You can't tell them what to do with their body. I mean, you see, that's how I view it. That's where I'm coming from, and there's nothing wrong with women choosing to have abortions if that's what they want to do. That's what I truly believe. But I want to eat. I want to eat. And then if I also don't believe like you really serious about the abortion, about making sure people have women have the rights to have an abortion, if I believe like you lying, you just playing, you pump faking me, you ain't really serious, yo, I'm not listening to you. I'm worried about I don't even trust you. I don't even like you. I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want you to talk to me. For real. Like it ain't even nothing to play about. It's serious. Like this is how I feel. This is how most people feel. This is how most of my friends feel. I mean, and you know how we know you being lying, huh? Kamala, Biden. Yeah, when y'all came into office with the presidency in both houses. Y'all came into office with the presidency in both houses the first couple of months. I think the first 2 years, y'all was impressed. Y'all got the White House. Y'all could have put it into law. Y'all could have codified it into law. Y'all didn't. And Obama came in with both houses. Could have codified it into law. He didn't. They've been talking about this same issue before I was born. They've been talking about abortion. Women used to have to go have an abortion. They used to have hangers. We've all heard the stories. What are the Democrats waiting for? It's been decades. You've had all the ample opportunity to do it, but you haven't done it. So now when I say like, yo, I'm not listening to you. You keep pump faking me. I'm not going to support you. We're not going to the ballot to support you. That person is wrong. But you bring people in the community that tell the people in the community they are wrong for not believing that person or believing those people that party anymore. What kind of a leader does that? A leader that doesn't serve the people. That's only there to control the people.
Be cited. The author has known numerous cases of Negro lawyers, physicians, and businessmen who, while attending local Sunday schools, churches, and lodges, have fallen out about trifles like a resolution or the chairmanship of a committee, which so embittered them as to make themselves enemies for life and stumbling blocks preventing any such thing as organization or community cooperation. It is a common occurrence to see a Negro well situated as a minister or teacher aspiring to a political appointment which temporarily pays little more than what he's receiving and offers no distinction except that of being earmarked as a Jim Crow job set aside for some Negro who has served well the purposes of the bosses as a ward healer in a campaign. Negroes who have begun promising business enterprises sometimes abandon them temporarily for the same sort of empty honor. In this way, they have been known to hamper their business by incurring the displeasure of ambitious politicians who might otherwise patronize them. Negroes of this point of view have developed in that part of the country where it is thought that the most distinguished persons in the community are those who hold and exploit the local offices or those who are further honored with positions in the state and nation. While this may apply in the case of their oppressors, the few positions allotted to Negroes are magnified beyond all reasonable bounds. This comes as a natural result, however, for the education of the Negro requires it. The ambitious, miseducated Negro in the struggle for the little things allotted by others prevents any achievement of the people in matters more constructive. Potentially, the colored people are strong, although they are actually weak. This much ado about nothing renders impossible cooperation, the most essential thing in the development of people. The ambitious of this class do more to keep the race in a state of turmoil and to prevent it from serious community effort than all the other elements combined. The one has a job that the other wants, or the one is a leader of a successful faction and the other is struggling to supplant him. Everything in the community then must yield ground to this puerile contest. In one city of a few thousand Negroes, there's no chance for community cooperation because of the antagonism of the Methodist and Baptist preachers in charge of the two largest churches. The one is determined to dictate the appointment of the teaching corps and the social welfare workers, The other is persistently struggling to undo everything accomplished by his opponent. The one is up today, and the other is in ascendancy tomorrow. Several efforts have been made to start business enterprises there, but none has succeeded because one faction tears down what the other builds up. In another city, the cleavage is along political lines. Preachers are there, but a lawyer and a dentist plunging into politics have dispossessed the clergy of the stage. The leader of one faction is so bitterly opposed to the other that he even warns strangers against going to the home of his adversary. To present a sane proposition to the community through one of these leaders means local warfare rather than an effort to work together for the common good. Consequently, although there are thousands of Negroes living together in one quarter, they have no business enterprises of worth. The selfish struggle for personal aggrandizement, which has not yet brought either faction more than an appointment on the police force or a clerkship in one of the city offices, thus blocks the social and economic progress of thousands of unoffending people. In another state,
You hear that? I'm not sure if you're following. And this is we having a conversation too. So put your hand up. Secretary General, if you see anybody put their hand up, let me know. Not but
Okay.
yeah, even what he just said just now, what he was just talking about just now. I mean, like when they come in the community, they say they're working for the community. They bicker with themselves just for them to get jobs. This is 1920s, 1930s that he's writing this. He's saying they bicker with each other and they fight with each other on everything that has nothing to do with what the subject matter is. And the reason why they're doing this is to get jobs in the police force or jobs set aside for Uncle Toms, for sellouts. That's what he's saying right now. How is that different from what's going on in our community right now? Get council jobs, get a job at City Hall, get one of the jobs at transportation, get a job at housing. They got a lot of jobs that they're giving out to the people around here for them to follow the line, push the line, be all on social media, pushing the same ideas, the same philosophies. How is that different from right now? What he's talking about 100 years ago. How come we haven't learned from that yet? Why haven't we learned from that yet? Because these people are the ones that's leading the community, the society, the culture, however you want to put it. They're given platforms to be able to lead us from those platforms. And I don't want to jump the gun, but he's about to say it. He's about to go all into that.
the ambition of the highly educated Negro is restricted to becoming principals of the high schools. The neglected state school has not developed sufficiently to become attractive. The warring area, then, is in the cities. In one of them, where several Negroes own considerable wealth, which, if pooled and properly used, would produce all but wonderful results, the petty strife has been most disastrous. Little thought is given to social uplift, and economic effort is crushed by factional wrangling. Before the author had been in one of the towns an hour,
You can get a grant. You can get nothing around here if you're not in bed with the people down in City Hall. They only give their money to their factions. In fact, they create the nonprofits. Like the mayor comes into office, creates 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different nonprofits, creates them. He be like, hey, oh, you in charge of this one, you in charge of this one, you in charge. All of them basically work for the mayor. And then when they get the federal money, they get whatever money in, they give it to those groups. They give it to those groups. Those are the groups. So it could be a whole bunch of groups in the city that's doing work in the city. When they get that bread in, they give it to those groups. And that's how they control those groups, control those people. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to lose your funding. That's what he's talking about. You see, it evolved from the 1930s. This is what, 2 generations after slavery? We're in 2024. It evolves. See, all this stuff has become normalized now in our communities. Miseducation, the failed schools, the horrible failed schools, the worst schools in America are all in our communities. And it's okay. They don't teach nobody how to read. 6%, 5% on proficiency levels. That's the level that they're reading at, 5%. 5%. Math, 6%. This is what they're teaching. They're in the 20s and the 30s. Graduation rates in the 40s, maybe in the 50s. This is the schools. This is the environment that we live in. Generation after generation, like you start to get used to the malfeasance. You get used to it because they know what they're doing. They know the failure, but they stand around and they prance around like they did something, they're doing something. I'm talking about the Superintendent like Roger Leone. Like people act like, yo, people be imagining these things. They come in with their own personal agenda. Roger Leone is LGBTQ, whatever you want to call him. Yo, he come in to the city and become superintendent. Yo, I watched every single graduation that my children's high school had when he became superintendent. Yo, everybody that won prom king, prom queen was LGBTQ. Like this ain't nothing that nobody's making up. You could go back and go look at the record. You telling me the most famous people in the school are these people? Yo, we used to see it, but you can't say nothing because if you say something, it seems like you're attacking LGBTQ. We're saying, why are you trying to change the society? Yo, me going to school, me watching TV, the culture, whatever, the people that won prom king, prom queen were always the most famous people in school. That's how it always was. You had to vote, the children had to vote, and then the most famous person in schools, they won it. I wasn't the most famous person in school. I ain't win it. I didn't die. The world wasn't over. That's how it always been. But since this guy, I don't want to misgender him, but since he came into office, yo, at American History High School in North, several years in a row, I don't know what they're doing no more. My kids not there no more. I don't even enter these spaces no more because those people don't really care about the children. But you go look, go back and look at the graduation rate when my children was going to school there. What were we in 2024? From what you say, like 18 to like 22? I mean 16, somewhere. You just go look every year. You see, because I was involved. I went to the prom stuff. I did all that stuff with the kids, and like I'm looking like, yo, this who won prom king, prom queen. Who are these people? But they come in instead of making the education better, because you go look, the education went down. Since he became superintendent, the education, the grades in that school, everything went down, plummeted. But you know what he had? You know what he made sure he had? LGBTQ people winning prom king, prom queen. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy when you really look at it and you see it from different eyes. When you listen to Carter G. Woodson and then you walk out here, you walk into society and you see how things are. Like it looks different from everybody else. But Roger Leone, they just gave him a big contract, even though the schools are failing. The worst schools in the state are failing. Boy, got another contract. They paid these people for them to miseducate us. That's what he's being paid. Now he's not white. I mean, I think he's Cuban. He's a white Cuban. He's probably a white Cuban. His family probably has slaves in Cuba, and they ran from Cuba after Castro kicked them out, took over the country. That's who he is, and he's just as racist. You can see it. You can see it. But anyway, I was about to say something, but I'm like, nah.
All wards of one faction sounded him on becoming a candidate for the position held by the principal of the high school. A few minutes thereafter, another approached him for advice as to how to get him out. The high cost of this childishness to the community can be estimated only by taking into consideration the fact that this strife is all but endless. If it were a matter that developed now and then only to be forgotten by people directing their attention thereafter to more important things, it wouldn't do much harm. But this confusion continues for years. Sometimes it grips a community for a whole generation, vitiating the entire life of the people. In spite of the meager rewards, however, the idea of leadership looms high in the Negro mind. It always develops thus among oppressed people. The oppressor must have some dealing with the despised group, and rather than have contact with individuals, he approaches the masses through his own spokesman. The term itself connotes a backward condition. In its strides upward, a race shuffles off its leaders because they originate outside of the group. They constitute a load that sinks the oppressed in the mire of trials and tribulations. Leadership is usually superimposed for the purpose of directing the course of the ostracized group along sane lines. This was accomplished during the days of slavery by restricting the assembly of Negroes to certain times and places and compelling them to meet in the presence of a stipulated number of the wisest and discreetest men of the community. These supervisors of the conduct of Negroes would prevent them from learning the truth, which might make them unruly or ambitious to become free. After the Negroes became free, the same end was reached by employing a Negro or some white man to spy upon and report behind closed doors on a plan to enslave the Negroes' minds. In case that actual employment as a spy seemed too bold, the person to be used as such an instrument took up some sort of enterprise which the oppressors of the race warmly supported to give him the desired influence in the community. This racial racketeer might be a politician, minister, teacher, director of a community center, or head of a social uplift agency.
You don't know them? The NAACP, all the professors, all the intellectuals that you see up on CNN, even CNN itself, MSNBC, all these platforms that they give these black people, they prop them up. Like, yo, once you go on MSNBC, you have millions of people. Well, I don't know about now, because like people not watching them no more. Because this is in 30s. You think things are flipping. To keep it real with you, things are flipping. People don't see it, but things are changing. Your people don't have the same faith in these institutions no more. People don't believe in these institutions no more. So if they don't believe in them no more, something else got to happen. There has to be something that happens. I mean, like they could come back and get more stars, spend more money, try to condition the people even more. Because they haven't been funding the social conditioning efforts. They haven't been funding these people to the tune where they want them to be funded. They want to be funded. Go ahead. Somebody got their hand up.
Yeah, General Secretary Patience. I just saw a clip. I think it was off MSNBC. They were talking about how a lot of people are not getting their news from mainstream media, and they're getting it from YouTube and social media and all that. And it's a lot of misinformation. So they already started, but they're attacking freedom of speech. They're gonna start shutting down on what we put out there in the world and social media platforms and stuff. And they already started because they're trying to get rid of TikTok and stuff like that, limiting our access to spread our voices. So yeah, they know that people are not paying attention to them. People are no longer listening to them. So now they're gonna start attacking these platforms.
Yeah.
Well, they already started.
Yeah, and like when you hear them, that's what they always say. They say misinformation, misinformation. When they are the purveyors of misinformation, that is the purpose why they are alive. That is the purpose why MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, all these people in those spaces. This is why they exist. Carter G. Woodson is telling you. You see, it's not 1930s. You didn't have MSNBC back then. In the 30s and the 20s, they used to write books. It used to be in schools. They used to have different. But now, today, you got journalists, politicians. He just told you. I'm gonna bring it back a beat. I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit for him to drop those names again.
Racketeer might be a politician, minister, teacher, director of a community center, or head of a social uplift agency.
He just told you. Racketeers, scammers. That's what we call them today. We call them scammers. The politicians, the educators, all of these people, they're scamming you. That's what they use to influence you, which is why you have to build your own institutions. You have to teach your own children. You can't continue to let them go to this institution that they have to socially control how you think, how your children think, how we think generation to generation. Let me see what I wrote down here. But yeah, and they always have to spy on you. Hey, like 2 years ago, I saw an effort in the whole city for them to put up cameras everywhere. I saw Ras Baraka supposed to be this revolutionary mayor, and I was watching him and his staff all up in the like in the trailer, and they were all looking at the cameras that was watching the people in the community, like The Wire, like how they used to do on The Wire. Like I was watching it, like, and it was turning my stomach because I've read Carter G. Woodson. But he talk about they put these people here to spy on you. On the plantation, they spy on you. Even now, when you after slavery, they'll have white people and black people in the community, spy on the community. Now they got cameras everywhere. As soon as you step out your door, you on camera. If you live in the projects, as soon as you open that door, you walk in the hallway, you in the camera. You get on the elevator, you on camera. Lobby camera, outside camera. All the way to you walk all the way outside, go into the train, get to the train camera. Everywhere's a camera. You on video. And who they use to be able to watch us like this, to spy on our lives like this. They use our own people. All these policies and solutions was put up there by the politicians that are in power, that we're in power. Go ahead, General Secretary.
Yeah, all these cameras, but they still can't solve one crime. They still
And
got to
so,
come to the
no crime.
community. They still got to come to the community to get snitches to snitch for them.
And then when you ask them, like, you ask them, like, yo, why don't you just look in your camera? They tell me the camera wasn't on. Yo, these people are weird, man. I mean, when they abuse you, they cut the camera off. They just accidentally lose the video. Unless you got money like Young Thug. But everybody in the hood ain't got money like Young Thug. Let's finish. This is Dr. Woodson.
As long as he did certain things and expressed the popular opinion on questions, he lacked nothing, and those who followed him found their way apparently better paid as the years went by.
Those that followed them found themselves better paid as the years went by. But they're not even doing that no more. At City Hall, they don't even pay you. Yo, this program that they have, yo, they got people working 2 weeks. You go to get your money, they ain't even got your money. They don't even have your money. Yo, when I see things like that, I think about what you call it? What is the name of the book? The Black Jacobins. I think about the Black Jacobins and where they was talking about the white people that was in Haiti, that was running Haiti at the time. They forgot what they were there for. They became spoiled. They became real spoiled, and they forgot like how to like pay off the black Haitians, how to have a relationship with them, that they needed to work with them for them to be able to survive. They forgot all of that. They became real arrogant because usually they came from Europe because they did something wrong in Europe and they sent them to the islands, their parents, because there was nepotism back then too. It ain't only LeBron, but back then there was nepotism too. So their white parents would send them from France or wherever they was at, send them into Haiti for them to go over there because like they were drunks, they were spoiled rich kids. So they'll come into the plantation and they don't know the work that their grandparents put in into taking that land from those people. All the slaughtering, all the killing, they really don't have no idea about all that stuff. And that's what I see when I watch these politicians now. I used to think that like Ras Baraka was the best politician I saw, that I ever saw in my lifetime. But the more that I see him, the more that I see what he's doing, he horrible. How do you have people working you don't pay them? What kind of loyalty thing you gonna have? Yeah, we get videos all the time. We get stuff transcribed all the time of what they're doing down there because the people down there are the ones sending it. Because the people down there, they're tired. They can't say nothing because they're trying to pay their bills. There's no job out here. There's no work out here. So they're taking those crumbs. But you think they're stupid? You think those people don't want a better life? They don't want their money every 2 weeks? The little bit of money that you're even giving out to them, the crumbs you're giving out, and every 2 weeks you're not giving it to them. How you think they're gonna come? But like you should know better than that. You should be smart enough. You should politically be savvy enough not to do things like that. But I just sit here and watch it. The garbage people. These are the people that Dr. King was killed fighting for. The garbage people. You don't pay them. You got them driving around on flats. I'm telling you, man. Things are changing and people are seeing it, man. People are starting to see it. You just got to give them something for them to hold on to. You got to give them something that's real. And that's why we're having it. That's why we're listening to Carter G. Woodson. Because when I say we need to come together, pull our resources together, I'm not saying that. I got it from Carter G. Woodson. And we've never done it. We, as a people, we have never organized in all our communities. It has never been an effort. It has never, ever, ever been an effort to organize all our communities to work together, to pull our resources together. That's why I'm here. That's why we here. That's what the Panthers are here to do. To get the community organized. Wherever you at. You don't have to be in Newark, New Jersey. We in Newark. I mean, you in your community. I don't know your community as well as you. You the leader in your community. Start to lead in your community by serving your community. It's really that simple. And then we work together. Whatever you need, we here. Like right now, we in North New Jersey. A general secretary, try to see if you can reach out to Jack. See if Jack will come up.
Okay.
He having a program right now. Jack is a Black Panther. He out there on Plainfield. Jack in Plainfield right now. He doing things out in Plainfield. I mean, like when we could go out there, we go out there, we help out. Whatever he need from us, we go out there. Yo, he coming to North later. We go to stores. He's gonna go to the store and he gonna give the person in the store, some money. Like that's the idea he came up with. We chip in, we give money to, like, you give the person at the store money. When somebody come in the store and they don't have enough to pay for something, you don't turn them away. You tell them the Black Panther Party brought this money and they said you could take this money to make the ends meet. And then you give them a flyer. If they need anything, they should hit us. This is all free. We're serving the community. Right now, Jack is having a football game out in the community for the kids in the community, like putting in the work. But it's not like, because like I gotta explain this, because some people think like you do a football game, you do like a charity thing event here, or you're doing something. No, those things are part of a whole entire system that you have set up to reach the people, to be able to organize the people, to go somewhere. To get somewhere, to go from here to there. Not just go out and give out sneakers and you think you did something. Go out and give out book bags and you think you're an activist. Go out and give out some sandwiches, serve some meal, and you think you're an activist. Those are all things that you do, like the total whole comes to something totally different than just charity. People always see me, they be like, yeah, I'll be doing the same thing. You don't do the same thing that we do. You don't. I don't want to be rude. I don't be wanting to be rude to people, but you don't do the same thing that we do. You're not in people's lives 24/7, picking them up, taking them out, wiping their nose, tying their sneakers. You're not in people's lives like that, feeding them. You're not going on court cases, fighting with the police with them. You're not in people's lives like that. You go out and you give out some sandwiches. That's charity. That's not organizing. They're doing charity work. But if you're giving all that stuff out to be able to bring them together, to be able to organize together, to start cooperatives, bring your bread together, to build together, so when they gentrify the community, y'all got a place to stay. They can't kick you out. You come together, we get all our little resources that we got from the plantation, and we start to build our own economic basis. They can't take that away from us. Like, you're going to have to kill all of us to take that away from us. And then they ain't about that life. They ain't about that life. Keeping it a buck with you. But that's what organizing is, man. That's what this is all about. Like on Sunday, I want to go watch football, man. I need to hit my parlays. Man, times is hard around here. I need to hit. But we said Sundays we was going to be here 12 o'clock to do this. So we on chapter 11. So boom, 11 consecutive weeks we've been here. We're going to be here till this book is done. Them consecutive weeks we're going to be here going through this stuff, because we need you to understand what he's saying, so you can see that I'm not making this up. We not making this up. The Black Panther Party hasn't made up nothing. Everything that we're doing is scientific, based on study, which is we're the only ones that can save ourselves. So we have these meetings, we have these conversations, we put our minds together, and we come up with solutions, and we get it done. Make it a reality.
Leadership then was recognizing, and the ultimate undoing of the Negroes in the community was assured. Such leadership, too, has continued until our day, and it goes from bad to worse. The very service which this...
I know I've been talking too much, y'all forget, but he's talking about the same leadership. He said in the 1930s, the leadership, these Uncle Tom, these sellouts, these teachers, these people that they bring in front of us, these lawyers, these doctors, these people that tell us all this stuff, he's saying it's getting worse. And we in 2024. Have you ever seen a worse politician than Kamala? A worse Democrat? Who can you think of that's worse than Kamala? That fake laugh. You could just see through her that she's fake and phony. She left them kids at Howard. After she lost, she went home. She said, F y'all. She went home and went to sleep. I'll come talk to y'all later. Who does that? What kind of politician? Like, if I'm dead, I'm like, you can't just go home. You gotta go talk. You gotta say something. You can just leave this student, these people just out here, and you just go home and go to sleep. But she probably crashed out, man. She was like, yo, I'm done. Like it takes a lot to be a liar, to be a sociopath like that. And then to believe your own lies.
Racial toady hardens him to the extent that he loses his
Yo,
soul.
did he just call them racial toadies?
This racial toady hardens
toady.
him to the extent that he loses his soul. He becomes equal to any task the oppressor may impose upon him, and at the same time, he becomes artful enough to press his case convincingly before the thoughtless multitude. What is right is sacrificed because everything that is right is not expedient, and what is expedient soon becomes unnecessary. Recently, a citizen observing how we have...
No. Let's talk about that. Expediency. You see, what we're talking about, everything I just explained to you about organizing, like, yo, this takes time. This is generational. It's not right now. It takes time. It takes time to build together, to put a foundation together. I'm talking about to have a generation of people that think, that understand, to put the institutions together to be able to educate these people. Yo, if we never start the work of doing that, we are never going to get liberated. Du Bois said that. He said that. Fanon said that. Every single black luminary on this side of the philosophical debate will tell you you must build these institutions. What leader have you heard out there? What mayor, councilman, intellectual is saying they're putting their resources into building institutions? None. Only one. They make fun of them. But Umar talking about building a school. You see, I don't agree with the way that he's doing it. Like, I'm not like people like where the school at? People don't give you money. Yeah. That's not what I'm thinking about, because people gonna always do that. What I'm talking about is that school should be from the community, of the community, by the community. The community should pay for that school. The community should be involved in that school, in what is being taught in that school, what the children are learning. The community, it should be a cooperative, not Dr. Umar's venture, Dr. Umar's school. You just a capitalist in another name, by another name. Are you trying to play me? But at least he's talking about building a school, not a charter school like LeBron and them, because those are still factories for white supremacy. But what leader out there is saying the communities need to build their own school and walk away from these public schools? In fact, they're telling us to send our kids to these public schools. They're trying to get us to fund the public schools. They give money to the public schools. They fund the public schools. All that money, they act like they did something for the community while the people still starving. But those people like Roger Leon, the people on the school board, all these people, they get to eat that money while the community starve, still don't get educated. Mark Zuckerberg gave all that money to North. It didn't make nobody smarter. It made them dumber. Somebody got that bread. Somebody ate that money. It didn't go to the community. But they know what they're doing. Mark Zuckerberg know what he's doing. This is pay to play, man. They're greasing each other palms. They're paying each other off, but they're using us. They're using the people as the medium. Like they're saying, like they're giving it to the people, and then people go, oh, they're nice people. He gonna get into that too. He be hitting everything.
Been thus betrayed, suggested that there be called a national meeting to take steps for a program of development of the race from within under a new leadership. Such a movement can be made to mean something, and then it can degenerate into an assembly of abuse and vituperation, followed by the usual whereas, therefore, be it resolved effort, which has never meant anything in the awakening and the development of an oppressed people. The Negroes, however, will not advance far if they continue to waste their energy abusing those who misdirect and exploit them. The exploiters of the race are not so much at fault as the race itself. If Negroes persist in permitting themselves to be handled in this fashion, they will always find someone at hand to impose upon them.
You see, and I have a problem with that. You see, when he said that, when he said the Negro allow himself to be exploited like this, like the Negro don't. Most of our people don't. Most of our children really don't understand how they got to where they got to. It's the people in those positions of power that have our people backwards, miseducated. I don't blame the people. I blame that fake leadership. You never blame the people. Never. Never. You're there to work for the people, to serve the people. You're not there to blame them for how the social construct that they were born into. So I don't say black people. It's that black leadership. That's who is the problem. You see, so here I would disagree with Dr. Woodson.
The matter is one which rests largely with the Negroes themselves. The race will free itself from exploiters just as soon as it decides to do so. No one else can accomplish this task for the race. It must plan and do for itself.
Plan and do for itself means building institutions. And we have to do it ourselves. I understand what he's saying, but the masses don't have that capability to do so. You don't just wake up and you learn what you need to know to be able to liberate yourself. You're their leaders. You have to have leaders that serve the people that know these things and put them in place. Those are the people he's talking about. Because I think I remember Du Bois saying, like it was the talented test, and he was saying until they understand, like every other people had to go through it. I mean, it had to be exploited. And when their leaders understood, that they needed to build their own institutions to serve their people, that's the only time they climbed out of being at the bottom. But until their leaders decide to do that, they'll never climb out. I'm tired of waiting for those people that they call leaders to do it. I'm tired of waiting for them. They're never going to do it. The celebrities, the rich, the middle class, all these people are safe. They're good. They're eating good. They're not like you. Their stomach's not touching. Their ribs not touching. I mean, they don't, to be a father, to be anything, to survive as a man out here, you got to be able to you got to have money. You got to have money. If you don't have money, you can't be a father. No woman will let you come around. They'll belittle you. They'll talk down to you. Even though we all understand these jobs, this society is constructed to make sure that we fail from school, from middle school. Remember I told you about the proficiency, the reading level? If you don't teach them how to read, you don't teach them how to count, what you expect them to be? What you think they're going to be? And these people are still getting paid to maintain this. They're still getting paid. And then they produce people that can't survive in this society, that can't make enough. Because you could go get a job. You could go work at Amazon. You could go work in this factory, get all this job, breaking your back, working hard. You still don't have enough to pay rent. But they're going to look at that person and say, like, you're not supporting this person because they're a woman. It's not because you can't survive out here, that you're starving.
Checking up on what they do, Negroes often find themselves giving money and moral support to various persons and institutions which influence the course of the race in the wrong way. They do not often ask themselves whether the support thus given will redound in the long run to the good of the people with whom they are identified. They do not inquire whether the assistance thus given offers temporary relief, but eventually results in irreparable loss. So many Negroes often do themselves harm when they actually believe that they are doing good.
So they platform Black Lives Matter. They platform those women from Black Lives Matter. And what everybody do? People started sending money. Black folks send money. We ain't sending as much as the corporations that was using them to control us started sending money to all those people. Black Lives Matter came, I think, after Ferguson. After all these black men were being hunted down and it was on camera, like it was different. It wasn't like in the 90s where you had that fuzzy camera, they had that big camera recording, what's his name? Whatever his name was. Recording them getting beat out in LA. I mean, like, we don't have those cameras. You got phones. Like, it's right there. I'm talking about, like, the pixels, everything, like, vivid. You can see everything. And people were seeing all these black people getting killed. What's his name? Trayvon Martin. All of this. That's when Black Lives Matter came about. They started funding Black Lives Matter. So Black Lives Matter started going out there talking about some go vote. Support this politician. Support this. Nothing has changed since Black Lives Matter came around. Because they built them up. The only thing that changed was those people bought themselves mansions, did documentaries, got wealthy. while we still getting shot. You got a pot of water, you getting shot in your face. Like they feel that emboldened all across. All across. And where's Black Lives Matter now? But those are the people he's talking about, they give them money to. They platform them, give them money to miseducate our people.
Under their present teachers, they cannot easily learn to do any better, for such training as we undergo does not open our eyes sufficiently for us to see far ahead of us. If the Negro could abandon the idea of leadership and instead stimulate a larger number of the race to take up definite tasks and sacrifice their time and energy in doing these things efficiently, the race might accomplish something.
Ain't nobody sacrificing their time today. Try to ask the people to sacrifice their time. Everybody's trying to survive. And that's not what is being taught in the society, for you to sacrifice your time, for you to invest your time into something and not looking to get paid for it. That's not the society that we have. That's not people outside. By and large, people, like, if they're not getting bread from it, they're not getting money from it, they ain't even beat. They don't even want to hear it. It takes a special person to love the people enough to come work for free. And those people are out there. Those are the people we're trying to find. I'm not trying to find somebody that's going to come here expecting to get paid. Because by and large, we really use our bread. You see, if it was more people in, we wouldn't have to use that much of our money to do everything. But it's like, you got to sacrifice. You give yourself to the people. And the people would never forget that.
The race needs
Hold on,
workers,
Chairman.
not leaders. That's what,
And
What's
I
up?
don't see any other way besides serving the people for free. Like, because if you're doing stuff for the people for money, you're not making any change. You're just
No.
like the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
workers will solve the problems which race leaders talk about and raise money to enable them to talk more and more about it. When you hear a man talking, then always inquire as to what he is doing or what he has done for humanity. Oratory and resolutions do not avail much. If they did, the Negro race would be in a paradise on earth.
You hear that? You heard what he just said? I'm going to bring it back if you missed it, because that's
Do
important.
not avail much. If they did,
Bring
the
it back.
Negro run for humanity. Oratory and resolutions do not avail much. If they did, the Negro race would be in a paradise on earth.
Oratory, talking, writing books. None of that stuff does anything. It doesn't do nothing. He said if it did, we would be something, what did he say, in heaven? Let me bring it back. What did he say? If it did.
Run for humanity. Oratory and resolutions do not avail much. If they did, the Negro race would be in a paradise on earth.
We would be on paradise on earth if talking, writing books, oratory. If all of that did anything. But that's what you got now with the intellectuals. All they want to do is write books, have TV shows, podcasts, and just talk and tell you all this stuff that they read in books that they don't do. Don't nobody want to hear what you're talking about no more. What are you putting in place? How are you serving the community? Like, you see all these people on this podcast. Yo, I just want to call them out. I mean, all these people on all these podcasts talking, all these intellectuals, so smart. They know everything. They know everything. They love the people so much. They're doing this because they care about the people. No institutions, no organizing, nothing. Nothing. Just, you got to send them, what they call it, patients? What they call it when you send them money? When they're doing their podcast and you send them money?
I forgot.
You got to send in money to chat. To say something on the screen, you got to type it and get them $5. They're talking about they're out here working for the people. You're working for yourself. That's what you're working for. You pimping the community. Almost done with this. Almost done.
It may be well to repeat here that saying that old men talk of what they have done, young men of what they are doing, and fools of what they expect to do. The Negro race has a rather large share of the last mentioned class. If we can finally succeed in translating the idea of leadership into that of service, we may soon find it possible to lift the Negro to a higher level. Under leadership, we have come into the ghetto By service within the ranks, we may work our way out of it. Under leadership, we have been constrained to do the bidding of others. By service, we may work out a program.
Hold up. You say you say out of leadership we find our ways in the ghetto. And out of leadership we can find our way out. But who was the leadership that brought us in the ghetto? I mean, like it's really deep. Once you really think about it, it's really deep. Let me see this part.
Bidding of others. By service,
by leadership, we have been taught to do the bidding of others. Like when you go stand in that line to go vote, you're going to just get people jobs. You're going to get people, those politicians, jobs. It ain't nothing for you. You're not doing nothing for you, for your family, nothing when you go stand on that line to go vote. I'm talking about if you're poor, if you catching hell out here, if you live in paycheck to paycheck, if you stand on any of these lines, do anything these government people talking about, you're just getting them rich. Because nothing they're doing is for us. And he's saying, just how we can do that, leadership can lead us to start working for ourselves, pulling our resources together. Yo, instead of you listen to other people's board member, you're the board member. You're the board member. Asking people for housing, for all of this stuff, you own the housing. See, you can't do it alone. We got to do it together. And that's our problem right there. That's why they have all these people in the community that miseducate us. That's why we've been miseducated, because the power has always been in the people. But the people must know how to utilize that power, how to make that fist, how to work together instead of being divided by gender, LGBTQ, by women's rights, like men can be complaining all day about this prison system. We the only ones in there. Can we complaining about that? Complaining about child support? Instead of just coming together, we all working together to survive. That's our only option. And that's what he's telling you too.
May work out a program in the light of our own circumstances. Under leadership, we have become poverty-stricken. By service, we may teach the masses how to earn a living honestly.
By service, we can teach. I mean, but who's willing to go out there and work for the people? Remember, this is why we're here, to find people that are out there to work for the people. When we're giving out groceries, we can't reach. Just imagine how many people we could feed if we had more people helping us give out the groceries. If we had more people donating more food. We're giving out food like 3 times a week. We're feeding thousands of people. We, the party, we're feeding thousands of people. What if we have more people to help take the food? Because sometimes we have so much food we can't even do it. You know what? My bad. We don't even have enough food because I want more vendors. I want more people. You got a farm, you got food, you want to give it to the people, let us know. We'll take the food. We put in a garden together. We need manure, we need dirt, we need all that stuff. Imagine if all of us were together, working together to serve our communities. How could we fail? It's impossible.
Under leadership, we have been made to despise our own possibilities and to develop into parasites.
And then in our leadership, we teach each other how to work for the community and not be parasites, not be vultures, capitalists, cannibalists. We're not parasites on our community. We don't exploit our community, gentrify our community. We serve the community.
By service, we may prove sufficient unto the task of self-development and contribute our part to modern culture.
All power to the people. And that's why we do what we do. All the work that we do in the community, we serve the community because we really love our people. We love our community and we want to fix it. We want to help it get better. So that's chapter 11. We just went over chapter 11 and he's talking about service. Service to the community. He talked about the people that's misleading the community. How they give these people platforms to be able to brainwash and mislead us, lead us into poverty, have us serving other people's interests. And what we've been dealing with. What just happened? What just happened this week? People going crazy. They're crashing out. People didn't even go to work the next day. What are we dealing with? The election. You know the election? It's been going on for weeks. It's over now. But the election. Trump beat her. I said Trump was going to beat her. We should have cut that clip and played it today. I said Trump was going to beat her because nobody liked her. Nobody liked her. She was a horrible person. We said all the things that she'd been doing. And what happened? People didn't vote for her. People didn't go out to go vote for her. They didn't. They you know what? Let me just go on to the video. Let me go on to the next video, man. Right here. What we talking about here? Yo, this. There you go right here. This is for what? Presidential result. Donald Trump wins. AP has called it 226, 312. Look at this. Look at this red. This thing looked mighty red to me. This thing looked mighty red to me. I mean, I'm gonna let it keep going. I'm gonna let it keep going. What's it? This is what? This is what? U.S. Senate result: 46 Dems, 53 GOP. Yo, I'm talking about. They're talking about this thing was gonna be close. Yo, wait till you listen to these people and they tell you how close this was gonna be. Yo, you saw the first part? You saw the. My bad. You saw the first. Where is it at? Right here. They say this is gonna be close. Look at this map. They say this is gonna be close. Look at this map, 312 to 226. This look like a close match to you? In fact, she did worse than any Democrat in modern history. But wait till you listen to these people tell you, these people lie to you. Because that's what they paid them to do. They paid them to lie to us. Look at this map right here. Look at this map. U.S. House result. Look at this map. It's all red. It's all red. So everybody here that didn't vote hate her because she's a woman, because she's a black woman. It's not because people catching hell. In all these communities, people catching hell. People starving. No housing. I mean, but it's not that. Wait till you hear these people. I hope we have the one in here when they were like, she ain't win no counties. I hope we had that in here. Let me see where I'm at right here. Now, hey, yo, this is a spoof that they did. They got Batman in it. Now go ahead and watch. Listen to this.
¿Ha tenido un accidente? Comuníquese con las oficinas legales de Brandon
Gotta
J.
pay capitalism.
Well, the new shock results Iowa poll from pollster Ann Seltzer has been blowing up everybody's news feeds, and for good reason. It is just one poll.
Smart politicians trust the voters, not the polls.
Yeah, so all this time, the people are saying that they don't have nowhere to stay, gentrification, people protesting housing, protesting the war, they're saying all of that stuff, and this is what the media was telling you. This is MSNBC. Most of the people that vote Democrat watch MSNBC. This is what MSNBC is telling them. Look at what they're telling them. 47 or 44. That's what they're telling them. That's what they.
And we should put it in the context of what's going on more broadly in the polling, as we're getting into the final polling before Election Day, including the big new poll from NBC News today. The top line of that one is that it's a tie, 49 for Harris, 49 for.
Yeah, that. Then the night before the elections. This is what their polls is telling the people. Just lying, getting these people hopes up, trying to get these people to believe that she has a shot. That's what she's doing. Yo, how can Rachel Maddow not get fired? The people that's doing this polls, how don't they not lose their jobs? But they're not. They're gonna stay here, getting paid to lie. Yo, every time something happens, they lie. They lied about COVID. They lied about everything. They lied about every single war. All they do is lie, but they're still here. They still have these jobs. Even though after, like, this happened already, the election already happened, we know she lied. We know they all lied. And what is the repercussion? What's the repercussion of them lying? They're going to go on to lie again, lie about more wars, just like the principals, the administrators in these public schools. Year after year, they continue to fail.
NBC poll shows a national deadlock. There's a couple of internal numbers that the pro-Harris side in particular is latching onto. For one, black voters in the NBC poll support Harris by a margin of 87%.
Hey, Secretary General, do we have it in here about how they voted, broken down by race?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think we have that here. Yeah, but black man broke the last poll that I saw. It was 77. You see how they say 87% right there? Yo, this street was lying. This was the night before the elections. This is what the polls was telling them. Who you polling? You ain't polling us. You ain't talking to us. Because if you listen to us, you would know nobody was going out to vote for her. But you're not listening to us. Who are you polling? You polling people that's lying to you. That's what you polling. You polling people that work with you. Because you don't come to the people. You don't be around the people. Y'all don't come to the people. Even the people that do the polling, they're not with the people. None of this stuff has anything to do with the people. They just talk about it from the outside. Look at like 87%. Yo, you crazy. Yo, it was 77, y'all. It was 10% short of that.
To 9%. In context, that's a 3-point larger margin with black voters than Biden won in 2020.
I think you underestimate the good citizens of Gotham City, Chief. But look at the poll, Batman.
Even so much recent...
But look at the polls, Batman. Look what their polls are telling you. Their polls. Their polls. This is what, every election their polls lie. And then after the election, they be like, yo, what's wrong with the poll? What's wrong with the polling? Yo, you've been saying the pollings are lying forever. Since Obama, the polls been wrong. Since Hillary Clinton, the poll. Yo, y'all been talking about beating Trump with them polls forever. And every time he come around, he beat them polls. He beat them polls. Look at him. A buffoon. They can't beat a buffoon, an idiot, a clear idiot. They can't beat him. Because y'all liars. And people are like, people know the jig is up. The jig is up. People not beat for it no more. They don't see it. Like before, maybe like it'd be like a generation. You fooling people generation to generation. Yo, y'all doing this like every year, every 2 years. Yo, people got memory and like they remember. Y'all be lying.
Conversation about this campaign has centered on Harris supposedly having a slipping standing with black voters. In the NBC poll, she's doing better with black voters than Biden did.
They made the case.
That's the NBC poll. The NBC poll, she said that she's doing better with black people. I guess NBC don't come to the hood.
This is the country is racist, right? Joe Biden got more of the black vote.
Hold on, Chairman. No.
Come ahead. I mean,
yeah, but even what they're just saying just now, they're saying like this is all about racism. It's all about racism. You see, because they don't want to talk about class. It's all about racism. It's all about racism. Yo, he just said Biden got more votes than Kamala got. But go ahead, General Secretary.
No, that's what I was going to say. She just said that Kamala didn't do better than Biden in anything.
No, but I hope that's up here. But but listen. Yo, how you do worse than him, and then you say it's about race? So you saying black people like Biden more than a black person? Like I don't even understand. And Biden a racist. Biden a Jim Crow racist. Like yo, they lie so much, they get in their own way. And I hope this is the death of the Democratic Party. I hope this is the death of them. Yo, I never thought. Yo, I used to think like, how the Democratic Party gonna die? Everybody's a Democrat. Like they're with the people. The Republican Party gonna die. This is what I used to think. Like in 08, 09. Then I really started paying attention to politics, and I'm like, wow. Like look at Kamala. Look at what kind of politician is that?
You just can't demonize everybody.
He almost got 1/4 of the black men, 24% to me this morning, as a rolling realignment, where you have these disaffected voters who are upset because they're not doing as well as they were doing 4 years ago. And it is not based on race. It is based on class, because Donald Trump has brought in all these new Hispanic voters and black voters, for example, and the Democrats are left being the party of the elite, which they feel has nothing to do with them.
How can it be? Human mechanisms are made by human hands, Robin. None of them is infallible.
He won rural Anson County, North Carolina. 40% African-American population. Is only the second time since Reconstruction that a Republican won Anson County, North Carolina. He won Starr County in Texas, the first time a Republican has won the county in 128 years. Mostly Latino county, there on the Mexican border.
I never would have believed that the polls could be wrong. There have been other candidates who trusted too much of the polls, Mayor Lindsay. And they found out that it's the votes that count.
As we do get our final look before actual vote starts to come in from actual voters on Tuesday, let's bring in our friend Steve Kornacki, who was made for this and who is standing by at the big board with so much energy and stamina to spare. Steve, we're looking at you at the top of the mountain right now, my friend.
Well, here we go, Rachel. And look, when it comes to the polling right now, I think the state.
You don't look excited to me. He had that fake grin on his face. Like, oh boy, that did about to make me come up here and lie. He don't that look excited to you? He don't look excited. And look what they pulled. Look what they got back there. Even though we just saw the video how they got smoked. Look what they got back there. Man.
Safest thing to say is there are some extremely mixed signals that are coming in. You just talked about Iowa, obviously, a state Donald Trump won by nearly 10 points the last two elections. Now, at least in that Des Moines Register poll, having Harris slightly ahead. It's the question of what is happening in Iowa itself, because obviously you talked to Ann Selzer right there. One of the questions is, does this spill over to other states? Does this reflect something, if this is what's happening in Iowa, that might be happening in
Remember, this is the night before the election. See that? 47-44, Iowa.
other states, maybe states we haven't been talking about, maybe some of the other battleground states.
Right there, Trump wins the 6th electoral vote of Iowa. So we can see the break.
Yo, when she was winning 47 to what? Yo, look, he got 53-45. Yo, I'm telling you, politics is the best reality show, yo. If you start watching politics, you're not going to. I used to see this stuff. I used to watch this. When I really got involved in politics, I was in prison. I had a 13-inch TV. Like, this was all during the time Obama was running and all that stuff. And I used to just watch. I used to study it. I used to be thinking, like, how could Democrats lose? Because before then, I was never involved in politics. I never really knew about American politics. I knew presidents here, that, but I really didn't know. And I used to listen to these politicians every day. Morning to night, I stayed on MSNBC, CNN. I used to even go to Fox because I used to be reading then. Like, I used to be reading. After I finished reading, like I listened to the news. Like, I had my day all prepared out. And I'm like, these people are frauds. That's when I started peeping it. But anyway, look, Iowa, look, he was supposed to lose. But that
Right down there with about half the vote counted there. So there was this thought that perhaps because of his restrictive abortion ban that just went into effect in July, and this highly respected pollster coming out.
Ha tenido una
more commercial, capitalism, you got to pay.
Las oficinas legales de Brandon J. Broderick.
A highly respected pollster that perhaps there was going to be a wave of independent women who could somehow turn this red state blue, but this was not to be, Chuck.
No, I mean, look, this is a miss because this looks exactly the way Iowa looks 4 years ago. You know, we're in margin of error range there. So, look, she thought she'd found something
This
with
is the pollster.
Experience teaches slowly, Robin, and at a cost of many mistakes.
This is our running average. We've been keeping this the entire summer and fall of the quality polls in all of the battleground states. And a couple things jump out here. Well, obviously, they're all close. You don't see a margin here of greater than 1.9 points. You do see a bit of a north-south divide.
Hey, yo.
In the polling, Trump's leads here, very small, but Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, basically Sun Belt states. Harris's best performance is in here. You know, Wisconsin. CNN projects that Donald Trump has won Wisconsin. 1.8 in
God.
NBC now projects he is the winner of Michigan, and it's 15 electoral votes.
Hey, you can't talk to nobody that watch MSNBC and CNN. When you're talking to them about logic, things that make sense, reasonable things, they be saying some weirdo stuff because they get it from these liars. This is what they were telling them. If you was watching MSNBC, you believe these people, you're like, yeah, we really got a shot. Bro, they're getting blown in every contest. They're getting blown.
States
Mercy
Joe
rule.
Biden won in 2020 by nearly 3 points.
These are the northern tier states. 0.3 of a point in Pennsylvania.
We have a major projection. CNN projects that Donald Trump will win the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This is a huge,
huge achievement for Donald Trump and a huge bucket of electoral votes, 19 of them, for his path back to the presidency.
And if that holds, if that cements, that is ultimately good news for Harris, because Michigan plus Pennsylvania plus Wisconsin, if there are no surprises outside of the battleground.
In Michigan, all those people, Middle East people from the Middle East, they even came up with coalitions not to vote for Kamala. Getting people, they went all around. They said, we're not voting for somebody that's a Zionist, that's committing genocide in Palestine. That's what Michigan, the people in Michigan, everybody told them. People on the streets are telling them, yo, we're not voting for you. Yo, they didn't listen to the people. Look, they gave up plus 1.8. Yo, Vegas didn't do these numbers. I know Vegas didn't do these numbers. These people, they need to send this stuff to Vegas. They need to put it on money line, run line. I guarantee you these numbers be a whole lot different. Because Vegas ain't come up with these numbers. But anyway, let's see what happened in Michigan.
Would for Harris equal 270 electoral votes. If the action really is limited to the battleground, Donald Trump has to win one of those three northern tier battleground states where our averages continue to show Harris with slight leads in those states. Slight leads in those states. And politically similar movement here. We have not, for the most part, seen in Wisconsin the kind of polling shift we just saw in that new Iowa poll today. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If it potentially could be a state-specific thing, but if it's not, if it's spilling over, this is a place where you would expect to see it on Tuesday night. Sort of an eye test here. I'm going to show you what the map looked like in these rural blue-collar counties. Look at all that red. Here was Obama. Look at all that blue.
Wow.
Not that long ago, Democrats were competitive in rural blue-collar areas. Now they're...
See that? This is during Obama. Like this, when I saw they getting real focus on this politics, on these people. Look at this is Obama. People believed it. People drank the Kool-Aid. They trusted him. You see, it wasn't about race here. I guess when they voted for Obama, they wasn't racist. People wasn't racist then.
They're getting absolutely blown out, and what that means for Democrats is in a state like Wisconsin and others, if they're going to have any chance,
Look at this. Look at this now. The people are tired. There's a shift coming.
They rely on the suburbs and the cities. They really rely on the suburbs and the cities.
Are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we can show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020. Holy smokes.
Y'all say holy smokes. Hey, y'all saw that map? Y'all saw that map? Yo, she's a worse politician than Biden.
So we can show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
I mean, not to be boring here for a second, but just getting...
Now, this is the day after the election. The day before the election, there was lying saying she was going to win. Now we about to hear what they're about to say the day after the election. You think they're going to be like, man, we was wrong. We got to stop listening to these posters. We got to start listening to the people. Maybe if we listen to the people, we'll get this thing right. You think that's what she about to say with that face? You think that's what she about to say? Because you know they think if you lesbian, LGBTQ, you can't be a sociopath. You can't be a liar. You can't be a Goebbels. Like, this is what these people are. They're propagandists. They're here to lie. So, well, they'll say if you're a woman, you let a woman do it. A woman will do it better. Let a British guy with a British accent, let him do it. I mean, that's going to be better. I mean, let a black person, put a black man up there. Because black men, we need, what they be calling it? Access. We need representation. Yo, it doesn't matter who you put on that screen, gay, whatever, that, whatever. However they shoot it there, to the oligarchs, the rich people, the people that pay her millions. Yo, she makes millions of dollars to sit up there and lie. And she'll do it. She'll do it to the day she dies because she's bankrupt. She has no soul.
Very real. We now are just another one in the list of countries that has decided to, hey, what the heck? Let's try the strongman thing. Let's let democracy go. Let's put in an all-powerful guy instead, see how it goes. There are many more countries in the world governed by that kind of a system.
See, this is her analysis. She's about to say like America is like these countries now. It's like North Korea. It's like China. It's like Russia. They're not going to look to themselves, to how they lie to the people, how they misled the people. They're not going to do all of that. They're going to start saying start scaring people because that's all they got. Scaring people, telling people like, yo, we live in a dictatorship. We live in a fascist state. It's always been fascist. The American government's always dictated to the people what they should do. Yo, y'all forgot about COVID? If you didn't take them shots, you couldn't keep your job. You couldn't even go to the movies. Don't me act like y'all forgot. Trump wasn't in power then. That was Biden. We couldn't go to the movies. We couldn't do nothing. You can't, like your kids, they all much ago, if they didn't take the shot, they couldn't go to school. You had to give them the shot.
You couldn't be with family.
You couldn't even be with
That's coming up soon.
Yeah, that's coming up. But this is what they're telling you. Like after they've been proven to be liars. You see, that's why we're saying we got to create our own media. Like I'm not a journalist. I didn't go to school for journalism. I didn't go to school for none of this stuff. I don't know how to talk to people to get people to believe what I'm saying. Yo, all I'm telling you is what I see. I'm telling you the truth. That's all I have to give you. Because if you know this truth, if you accept this truth as the truth, then we can work together to bring about something better. That's all I have here to give you. I'm letting them talk. Just present to you, what is it called? In Pantherism, we must highlight the contradictions. All I'm doing is highlighting the contradictions, just letting them talk. And look what she's blaming for what they've done here. Like this is what we've decided to be. Like one person can really control the whole country. The president don't control the whole country. The president don't control every single state, every single politician. It doesn't work that way. It don't work that way. You can't have none of that dictatorship. The only dictatorship you could have in America is a statewide government dictatorship, which they're all part of. That's the dictatorship we're under. We're under a corporate dictatorship that they all control, that corporations control. But she's never going to say that. And that's what fascism really is. When the corporations and the elites control the society and they break people up into different categories, segments of society, had them fighting each other while they control everything. We have no rights. We have no ability to do nothing. They control what we think, what we know, our schools, everything. That's fascism. We've been living in that the whole time. That's what we're living in. America's not a democracy. It's not. I'm not making that up. It's not. Your vote don't count. Go ask the electoral colleges.
Than there are governed by ours. We are the only 248-year-old multiracial pluralistic democracy in the world. And shall we keep it?
See that? Multiracial, multi-pluralistic democracy in the world. America's not a democracy. Like she could just lie with a straight face. The face ain't straight. She's smelling her own BS that she's kicking. Look at her face. Look at her face. Man.
A lot of our fellow Americans say we shouldn't. Now we know. Now we know for sure.
We mustn't judge her too harshly, Robert.
Yes, we should.
Even with the best intentions, it's hard to change a lifetime of habit.
They're counting on the half the country that voted against.
Yo, I blame them. We got to hold these people accountable. Yo, she's only on this medium to brainwash millions of people. That's why she did. We don't just let her skate free. Yo, she shouldn't be welcome in any space. She shouldn't be welcome nowhere. She wouldn't be welcome nowhere I'm at. I would challenge her. Wherever I see her at. Like, what you doing out here? Why don't you go back with them rich people that you've been lying for? Them weapons companies you've been lying for to kill people all around the world, all around the globe. Go back over there with them. Don't come amongst the people. You don't belong amongst the people. You see, that's what I do when I see these people and I see politicians. I tell them straight up what I think about them. The emperor has no clothes on.
Them, half the country that doesn't want to give up our system of government, they're counting on all those tens of millions of Americans to beat the...
Pause. She just said half of the country did not vote. Half of the country did not vote. Half of the country not even registered to vote. Keeping it a buck. And they all this lying about the numbers, the largest numbers, that was a lie. less people came out for Kamala than ever. Because less people came out, it made his numbers look inflated. But the same amount of people came out to vote. The same amount that always come out. Like it ain't people not just running to go vote. Nobody believes in the system. Nobody.
Despondent, to feel powerless, to check out, which of course would mean letting them do what they want, letting them run the table. What they really don't want is for the half the country that voted against them, the half the country that wants to keep our democracy, to keep our democracy.
Look at their face.
And the Constitution is the cornerstone of our great nation. And the Constitution is the cornerstone of our great nation.
Shut up.
The half the country.
I want to plug on their face. Hey, this is where they found out Trump was winning, son. Yo, look at their face, yo. Like, oh man, they really thought. See, these are your teachers right here. These are your people down in City Hall, school board, council members. That's them right there. They bring their kids with them. They're so proud because they're getting something out of the system. They're eating the crumbs. And then they're looking up there. You know what they're thinking right now? Damn, that nonprofit money is gone. That NGO money. Trump done came into power. We ain't getting them tax dollars no more to do this fake pageants that we call organizing. All this fake stuff that we doing in the we ain't gonna have the money for that no more.
Jim in Africa.
I'm listening.
I'm hearing you. Oh, are you spot on? That's what I was thinking about. The first thing that Trump did was cut out that old crazy stuff about how these people want to get these sex changes.
Hey, yo. You better be careful before they cancel you, too.
Oh, man, he said, wait a minute. Whatever you got downstairs is what you are. And if you want to go get it changed, not on my dime. So, yes, all these pageants and all these other things that the Democrats put so much money into, I am glad they're going to be, especially with that. We need to bring back cooking and shop. Why are we spending dollars on whether somebody don't know whether they're a male, a woman, a he, she, they, she, gender fluid?
Go figure it out.
Oh, I'm so sick of all those terms.
But think about that. Yo. You heard me, Basil?
Yes, I heard you, sir.
Yeah, but just think about that for a minute. Like in high school, you have 4 years with this kid. You telling me you can't teach a kid in 4 years to be a mechanic? You have a kid for 4 years. I mean, their brains are like sponges at that age. You telling me you can't teach them how to be a mechanic, construction, to do something? Yo, once you learn a trade like that, you could go anywhere on this planet and be able to take care of yourself. I don't care if we dropped you off in Alaska. I don't care if we dropped you off in Alaska, Timbuktu, Soweto. I don't care. Anywhere you drop somebody off, once they have that skill, that ability, they can do anything, but they don't teach them that. They're teaching you about Macbeth. That's what they're teaching you about. I remember that. I had to read Macbeth, Ethan Frome, Edgar Allan Poe. These are the people those are the names that pop in my head. I don't know nothing about fixing cars or nothing. I mean, it's sad.
The Constitution is the cornerstone of our great nation. We must abide by it.
Gosh, when you put it that way, Batman, how can I help but agree?
Feeling, regretful about the election outcome.
Or those are the years all the years she lost.
One second, Tim.
Short times Batman. All virtues are virtue. Indeed, that's why they're virtues.
And we should put it in the context of what's going on more broadly in the polling as we're getting into the final polling before Election Day, including the big new poll.
I never would have believed that the polls could be wrong. There have been other candidates who trusted too much in the polls, Mayor Lindsay, and they found out that it's the votes that count. After all, if you can't trust the voters, whom can you trust?
If you
awesome.
Can't,
I love that. I love it.
If you can't trust
I'm
the
doing this research on that, King Africa. Oh my God, you
Yo, all power to the people. Like, real talk. But now I got some more for you. I got some more. Now this some of the stuff.
That the only reason there's a positive economic outlook globally is because the United States economy is doing so well, it's dragging everybody else upward.
You hear this, people? The economic, we are doing so good. We're dragging everybody up. People got 3 jobs. People can't. This is what they're saying. I'm gonna let her finish our story.
Job market in the history of the United States. Inflation is back to where it was, not only just before COVID, but before Donald Trump left office, right? I mean, this is the.
How do you listen to these people? Look at all those people on that panel. All those people on that panel. How you put on MSNBC and listen to them after knowing what we know? Like, how do people listen to them?
The economic growth numbers, the fiscal numbers, the U.S. standing in the world numbers are all off the charts positive. Even the freaking stock market, right? All off the charts positive. And yet, the old pain from having gone through the rise in prices, which is over, and which we weathered better than every other advanced economic.
This is a journalist. Hey, Secretary General, when you posting this later, please post next to it how people are doing, the economic, how people are doing right now. How many people don't have a place to stay? How many people starving? When you're doing this later, because people don't understand. Once this video is done, the Secretary General is going to spend some time. It takes a couple of days for her to put it together, to edit it. Please, I know I'm asking you to do more work, but please put it next to her while she's talking. Put it right next to her face, how people are really doing. Because this is how they're out there explaining our condition, calling herself a journalist. Millions of dollars. And this is what she said Americans are going through.
Advanced economy in the world, to me, it can't be prescriptive because of what's happened since, because we voted today, or we voted in this early voting period, right? I mean, if we were a country where all the economic indicators were going down, you would expect it to be a big economically driven change election. But all of our economic indicators are 3 feet high and rising.
See, we live in different worlds. I don't know what she's talking about. We live in different worlds. People catching hell out here. Why do you think we out here giving out groceries? We doing all this work in the community for free because everybody good?
They
voted for this guy.
I'm not the.
Eddie Glaude is a professor at Princeton. When we listening to Carter G. Woodson and he talking about those black teachers, those black intellectuals, Eddie Glaude is those people. Listen to what this toady, whatever Carter G. Woodson called him, listen to what he says.
Defending it. But I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it, don't pay attention to politics at all. But while we live in the most prosperous country in the world, people are saying, life's not fair, I'm not doing well, my son's still living in the basement, I can't seem to get a job, I don't like the status quo, I'm voting for something else, and
I love you to life,
I love you,
but I do not believe that.
That's Eddie Glaude. He's right there in Princeton. If you go to Princeton University and you're watching this, he right there, he's supposed to be teaching at your school. Eddie Glaude don't believe we catching hell out here. Because Eddie Glaude don't be around us. Don't be with us. You know if he was around us, you know the first thing we'll tell Eddie Glaude? You want me to tell you how? You know he's not around black people? Let me see. Let me see real quick.
Do not believe.
Well, my son's still living in the basement. I can't seem to get a job. While we live in the most prosperous country in the world,
where's it at?
People are saying life's not fair.
Right there. If Eddie Glaude was in the hood, right? We would have been told him like, bro, you gotta shave your head. You can't walk around with that sunroof right there. That's how you know these people not around us, yo. You would have got ripped. Around anybody, all around my mans. If you ain't nobody, I don't know nobody that's in my circle, any men that I know that walk around with a sunroof like that, like trying to fake jack like you're not bald. B, you're bald, B. But like, bro, you gotta cut that off. It's time to let it go. That's the first thing that we would tell them. I know it sound mean, but that's how we talk. Look, I got my bald head. I couldn't walk around. As soon as my little hairline started going back, my dreads started coming back, it's time to cut this thing off because the jokes is going to be real. But look, you could tell. That's how you tell you're not in the hood, yo. You're not with nobody in the hood catching hell. That's why you could sit there and see what he said.
I can't seem to get a job. I don't like the status quo. I'm voting for something else. And
I love you to life.
I love you.
But I do not believe that.
He don't believe we catching hell. Look how emphatic he is. He don't believe we catching hell. That's why people not going out to support these fake politicians. He don't believe it. Look at his glasses. His glasses probably cost as much as our rent. Look at him. He got nice dental. Yeah. Look at this nice shirt. Got the nice white shirt. What Malcolm X say? Dress just like Massa. Good diction. That's who he was talking about. This is who Malcolm was talking about. These are the people that go out there and say they're speaking for us. Eddie, they got his name wrong. His name is not Eddie George. It's Eddie Glover. They spelled his name wrong. A General Secretary, that's you? His name is Eddie Glover. But let me keep going. Huh?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yo, we don't even need to. Hey, yo, when you do it, you'll take the George out. Just leave Eddie up there.
All right.
Yeah, just Eddie.
Cannot believe that. And the reason I think you believe it is because you don't want to believe that that's what's really motivating them.
What's motivating them, Eddie? Tell us what's motivating them, Eddie. I want you to tell me right now.
It's always the case. People don't want to believe what the country actually is.
And what is it?
Because if they believe it, they're going to have to confront what's in them.
No, and what's in them?
I don't believe that.
What do you believe?
They voted for a crook.
Yeah. Kamala not a crook. Biden not a crook. Trump is the only crook.
Person they know is stealing from...
Look at him. Oh, my God. Bro, look how mad bro is, yo. Wait, I'm bringing this back.
From just doing everything to undermine the so-called country that they love. Look at it. And then they're telling us the BS that it's economics. We know that's not true.
Are people challenged with the idea of how do you...
Look at this weirdo right here, man. Yo, listen, everything we're talking about here, we talk about Carter G. Woodson. We just listen to Carter G. Woodson. And Carter G. Woodson saying we have to come together. We have to work together as a people to be able to liberate ourselves. Listen to what this is supposed to be an academic. Like y'all be thinking like these people gonna look a certain way. Look at her. Nice, pretty sister, right? But after the words come out of her mouth, I want you to tell me she's still pretty.
Interact with people who you know voted for this. Right? If you are an LGBTQ person and you know someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman knowing that, this man was calling people the B word, J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of Black women were incredibly triggered by that. And if you then meet somebody and you know they voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican, and you know someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
You want to say something, General Secretary?
Yeah, it's not like these people didn't know who their family members were before this election.
Nah, word up. Yo, you gonna start talking to your family member because they voted for Trump? That's what you about to do because of the policies that politician Yo, how about Kamala? Yo? How about her locking Black women up? How about locking up all those Black men? How about her refusing to allow Black men to get out of prison that served their time because she wanted them to use them as free labor to fight fires? The modern day slave plantation, this so-called Black woman refused, because she back to being Indian now, refused to allow Black people off the plantation. Yo, that's a no-go for you? That's no bueno for you? That's not no bueno for you? But listen to what this psychologist, look at that, psychologist. I told you, Carter G. Woodson said when they go to these schools, they become useless to our people. The more degrees they get, the more useless they become. Listen to what she said. After all of them, every leader that we know tell us to organize, to work with the community, work with our people. Listen to what she said.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push. I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like wait.
It's somebody on my Instagram that's hitting me on Instagram and he telling me like nobody in the hood ever told him, or nobody ever told him to be a Democrat or whatever, to vote Democrat. Like people like that come on my Instagram page, like I can't even take them seriously. I can't. Like this is what they're telling you. If somebody don't support what they support, they shouldn't even be in their life. They shouldn't be their family no more. When the whole purpose of life is family. That's the whole purpose of life. But you allow these outside factors to determine who you talk to. And if people don't support what you believe, that's wrong. That's been proven wrong. The Democratic Party that you support, you shouldn't talk to them, even if they're your family. Like, case closed. These people, there's nothing you could do with these people.
You said against your livelihood. And it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why. To say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. I need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're...
Well, the Democratic Party worked very hard. And they raised, substantial sum of money. We had great candidates. And so Trump had a following, basically generally led by whites. White males voted in big numbers. He had a few from the other race groups that joined in, like the Latinos at 45%, and black men at about the same rate that they did when they voted for him before, at about 20%. That combination won. And so it is not that Democrats did not work hard, did not do a great job. We had an unusual situation where we had a black woman, which this country has never seen before. A combination of all of those things led to his win. And
these people shouldn't be in power. Maxine Waters is an idiot. She don't speak for me. She don't speak for nobody in my community. Maxine Waters is a buffoon. She's a clown. She's a traitor. She should be ashamed of that skin that she wears. Because she's going straight to blaming it because like she's a woman. Despite all the other evil, the crime that this woman has committed. The crime that this party has committed. They're committing a genocide right now. Biden ain't going to be leaving until January. Right now, we in history. We talking about history. We talk about Hitler, all this stuff, the genocide against the Jews, all this stuff. Jews are committing, not Jews, Zionist Israel is committing a genocide against the Palestinians funded by America. They're America's proxy. America is using them to kill off the people in Palestine. They're using Israel. They're using Netanyahu. Netanyahu doesn't control America. Israel don't control America. America controls Israel. And America is committing a genocide under the leadership of Biden and Kamala Harris. That's what's going on. But now people are not mad at that. They're just mad because she has ovaries. You a clown.
There is a huge element, to be honest, of anti-blackness in a lot of this. Anti-black Americanness specifically.
You're anti-black. You ain't black. You're not. You're not like us. You a traitor. I mean, because that's all they could go to. They use race. They use us. They use our suffering, our pain, our legacy for them to sit up on those stages right there and lie. These people are disgusting. Anyway, I need to move on anyway. I'm tired of listening to them. Right here, this is Ras Baraka, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. Supposed to be a revolutionary. He don't even look like it no more, right? I've watched him come all the way down. I used to have respect for him. But I've watched how he is governed. I watched how he moved. I watched what he did to me and my family. Look at him. What you see on the screen right now, the way he looks, all pitiful, fat head on the screen, he look like he's kind of slow. Like this is what he has become now. There's no power to his seat. Look at him. He's sitting there as a mascot for white supremacy. Look behind him. Look at the flag. That's who he supports. That's who he supports. It might as well be a KKK flag back there. That's who he supports. These are the people that Carter G. Woodson was talking about. Now listen to this buffoon.
92% of the black women that voted in this election cast their ballot for Kamala Harris. And not because they don't see that sometimes the Democratic Party takes their vote.
Why? Why is 92% of registered Democratic voters voting for these people? Because that's how they get their jobs. That is not 92% of women. I need you to understand, get this clearly in your mind, because when they say 92% of women, in my mind, maybe some of your minds out there, I used to think 92% of black women. 92% of black women are not registered to vote. Not even half. Half of the country is not registered to vote, including white people and everybody, Asian, all kind of people. Half of the country not registered to vote. So if half of the country not even registered to vote, it's less than half, way less than half of black women that are registered to vote. There are numbers to all of this. You can go look it up if you don't believe me. Only about 45% of the people in America are registered to vote. And out of those people, women are in there too. Black women are in there. And 92% of them are not voting. I'll probably say 10% of black women probably vote. And I'm being generous. Because off the top of the head, I probably really think like 3%. Because people don't vote. We don't really vote. Americans don't vote. They're giving up on this system. So you sitting here talking about 92% of black women. You already lying. You a liar. You're a liar. You can't go nowhere and debate me about that. 92% of black women in America did not vote for Kamala. And when like they got the numbers of the black women that voted, I guarantee you that you get that number and you match it to all the black women in America, and it is not no 92%. But let's let him keep lying. He just started off like 3 seconds in, he already lying.
For granted, or that they agree with everything the Democrats espouse. They didn't even vote for Kamala Harris simply because she's black. But black women's relationship to this country has been clearly different than everyone else's, including mine.
Separation. Black women's relationship to this country has been different from everyone else, including your own, including black men. You see the divide? The divide in our community starts with these people right here. These fake people that are put in front of us to talk for us. Since we got on this soil, Ross, clown, fake Baraka, since we got on this soil, since we got off those slave ships, they have divided us. We've caught hell. I'm not even going to say men caught hell more than women. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to say that. I'm definitely not going to say women caught more hell. This system has used us equally to oppress each other, to separate each other. Men have caught hell too. Black men have caught hell too in this country. Don't make it like black men came and they're like, they just open up the doors like, yeah, come on, black man, you're part of patriarchy. I said we wasn't on the plantation that was whipping us with slaves. They was ripping our bodies apart to show the women that they couldn't believe in black men. Don't put your faith in this black man. We're going to tie one end of him to one horse and tie the other end of him to another horse, and then we're going to hit the horse and make them go so they could rip him apart in front of the black woman so she understands he is powerless. We're going to tie him up and whip him till he dies so these black women can understand we are the masters. She should listen to us. We're going to lock him up. We're going to put drugs in the community. We're going to make sure they get no job so these black women can look to us as their saviors. But that's how America performs. That's how America acts. That's how these institutions behave. But you sit up here and you act like you never read George Jackson. You never read Fanon. You never read nobody. You act like you don't know. The last time I saw him, I had to show him Fanon. I had to show him something in Fanon's book. This is like the last time I talked to Ross Baraka in his office. Because there was a quote in Fanon's book, Black Skin, White Mask. There's a quote in the book where he's saying like all black people, like they're destined to be white. If they're groomed into society, if they're socialized into society, their destiny is to be white because they become white in their thinking. I had to show him the quote in the book because he didn't believe it because I was calling him white. I was calling him to his face white. You see, but he didn't catch it. But I got the quote and I showed it to him because he was inside that office. I went to talk to him about some brothers that got beat up by the police. The brother arrested them. I mean, like It's all on camera. And I went to him to go talk to him about it. Bruh go and tell me the police said. I'm like, I don't want to hear what the police said. I'm telling you what we watching on camera. What we seen with our 2 eyes. He said the police said. So I brought up that quote to her. Because all that gangster stuff he was talking on the streets, all that revolutionary stuff he was talking on the streets, when he went inside City Hall, when he went in there with them flags behind him, he became white. He became European. Let's see if I could stomach to hear the rest of it.
As a black man, black women know what it means to raise their family under the threat of mob violence and not have the protections of the state or its institutions. They know.
Black men don't know that. Raz Baraka, black men don't know that. Black men on child support. My man just got off child support for like 2 kids. All the hell he went through with child support to raise his kids and all of that with no help from the state, from the city, from none of that, from the government. He don't know nothing, right?
What it means to have your vote.
What's that?
He's a mayor in charge of the police department that's under consent
decree.
Rights stolen from you and your humanity degraded. They know what it means to be invisible, to not be seen. They know what it feels like to be targeted based on your race and your gender. And they knew that Vice President Kamala Harris, even though she tried not to make this election about her race and her gender, that they would see it and not her anyway. They know what it feels like to be afraid.
See, this is the black people that Carter G. Bush is talking about. Instead of explaining to the people, but he's not going to say that because the people are going to be looking to him as mayor for him to do his job. But he's not going to say that. He's going to say all this goofy stuff, and then all the people that he pay on the street, that he help him pay their bills, they're going to be taking up for him. But they don't really take up for him because he don't even pay them enough. That's how dumb of a politician he is.
Every time your son leaves the house, that he may not return because he'll be shot down in the street.
You see this crazy? You see how crazy he is? He's saying we don't know how the loss of women. You telling me the woman that's at home, worried about me getting shot in the street, is more in danger or has been harmed more by the government, by America, than me that's getting shot in the street. Yo, you a weirdo, B.
But take it back one more step, Chairman. You was just talking about how you went, the last time you spoke to him about the Rodwell Spivey brothers that got beat up by the cops. Their mother is Monique Rodwell. What about that mother? What about the mother of the gentleman that got killed on New Year's? That no charges was brought against the police. What about those mothers?
He tried to co-opt them, socialize them into the system for them to fight for things like cameras on the shirt. That's what he tried to get those people to do. He don't stand with them. He don't fight with them. Look at him. Yo, he has turned into a clown and a buffoon. Look at him. Yo, that's sad. That's sad to just watch this. Yo, I really thought he was smart, really intelligent at one point. But when you get inside them walls, when you get those jobs, you become an idiot. Because you start saying the idiotic things that they're telling you to say, that they expect you to say, not the truth. Yo, I'll thrash him on a debate. Not because I'm smarter than him, because I'm more sincere. I'm telling the truth. And whatever lie he tell, I could run circles around that lie. Yo, he's so stupid.
Or choked to death at a traffic stop. They know what it means to be denied health care, even laying on the table in some of this country's finest hospitals. They know what it means to have your children's dream deferred and your family not reach its potential because of laws and policies girded by white supremacy. They know what happens to black children that identify differently without the protections of the state. They know what it means to grow up.
Yo, if you want to watch this buffoon, you can watch it on your own time. But I can't stomach to even see him. Let me see where we at. I think
talk to black folks.
Oh. Now they're talking to black folks to see what black folks say. How they feel about the election.
Voters for Trump. Here we go. How are you feeling about the election?
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time.
That's Don Lemon. Don Lemon used to be on CNN until they got tired of him. But now he's out here, he's trying to work himself back into the house. I mean, so he got to start. He got to go back to the streets. Boy used to be inside of a studio. Now he outside in the streets talking to whatever her name is. I mean, but go ahead, tell him, because she's smarter than him. She going to run circles around him. All that education he got, all that money he got, all those people he be, the influential people he be with, she about to run circles around him.
They don't want somebody who was good for us to win. They throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to, like, make us vote for the black person. I voted for Obama because he was black.
Yo, isn't that what Carter G. Woodson just said? She probably never even read Carter G. Woodson, but she just explained to you exactly what Carter G. Woodson said. They bring this Negro, they put them in our face for them to convince us to vote for these people.
I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win. I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, I saw the other side of it. I'm supporting Trump.
You are? Because?
Because they have to change.
Yeah.
It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So.
The courage it takes to say that. Look at the brother right there. He's scary. He was showing his teeth just now. He's scared. But now she has skirts to stand right there in front of Don Lemon and tell him to his face, yo, I don't care what y'all tell me, who y'all tell me to vote for. I don't care if she white. I mean white. I don't care if she black. Like, she ain't doing nothing for me, so I'm not voting for her. I mean, like, the courage to straight up say it. I'm telling you, when these people get organized, if we could organize these people, because she got the kind of soul that I need to fight this liberation. Tell him straight to his face. Tell him straight to his face you ain't supporting people that they bring up no more.
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I just think she's phony and fake, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I'm like,
She phony and fake. Everybody can see she phony and fake. But y'all think people stupid.
So, what are you? You know, so I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
What are you?
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing.
That's what I said last week. I said nobody's going to vote for her because nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. Why? Because I'm amongst the people. I talk to the people. And the people don't like her. So I don't know how them polls had her winning anything. Who were the people that's going to vote for her?
Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
But I think. Did you vote yet?
Yeah, I voted.
Remember what Eddie Glore said? Eddie Glore said on that thing, like, he doesn't believe that. He don't believe that's why Americans not vote. I refuse to believe that. Yo, she just told you. Gas, all this stuff. I'm not voting for her. But Eddie Glore said it's because of racism. Eddie said, you know, he teach at Princeton. He's a Princeton guy. He's so smart.
You voted
already? Yeah, I voted for Joe Biden.
You did?
Yes, Green Party.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You know, people are going to say, "Oh my gosh, you're wasting your vote." That means another Donald Trump win. What do you say to that?
Do we live in a
democracy where I could do whatever I want to do, where I could vote for whoever I want to vote for? But Don Lemon been saying that. He said people going to say, no, you said it. You the people that be saying it. When you had that little CNN show, that's what you used to say to people every time somebody from the third party come on there. You say the same thing. But he acted like some people going to say, no, you saying it, bro.
democracy or not?
Do you actually think she has a chance to win?
I think with our two-party system,
No.
not necessarily, but electorally, yes. My realistic thing is I'm not voting for genocide, so that's common.
Good for her. Wait for.
I'm not voting
Don't
for
let his
genocide.
response go before you get excited.
And Trump, all right.
Well,
What I hate is genocide, and what I hate is capitalism, and what I hate is seeing marginalized people oppressed. So when is the time for us to stand up and say enough is enough? Like, what is your red line?
Well, I think that you work with the person who actually has a real chance of winning, and then the more reasonable person, even though they may not agree 100% with what you believe, I believe politics is like public transportation, right? You want to get in a limo, and you want to be delivered to your address. When actual politics and living in a democracy is actually the person that gets you closest to where you want to go, rather than having someone deliver you to your front door, which is never, ever going to happen.
How much you want to bet that Don came up with this killer analogy just as his limo driver delivered him to his front door?
Hey, yo, can you believe this clown? America is not a democracy. And now you're standing. Just look how he's standing. Just look at him. Look at these frail dudes, man. Like, they're supposed to be the people that's speaking for me. How can this frail chump ever speak for me, man? Yo, man, I be having to watch what I be thinking in my mind. Don't say it out loud. But the
Am I right? He's like, oh, it's like did he say public transportation?
I just think if the delivery car is fascism, like, aren't we doomed either way?
she's smarter than him. The people are smarter than these people. You see, that's why they be scared to go out to the people. Look what you just hit them with. I'm not getting in that car. That car is fascist. If it's a white van, I'm not jumping in that van to go nowhere. Especially if I see somebody in the front with a mask on. What are you talking about? Or the hood on, KKK hood on. I'm not getting in that ride. I walk. I'm good, my guy. I'm going to walk. And she just hit him with it. If it's a fascist van, like, I'm not getting it. Or a fascist limo, I'm not getting in it.
I don't know. I just think the whole system needs to be uprooted. And in order for politicians to serve the people, they need to listen to the people.
Bang. And that's what Carter G. Woodson was just saying. You have to serve the people. But to serve the people, you have to listen to the people. Can't never be in front of the people. You got to listen to the people. So what we do, we work on housing. We work on people eating. We work on building institutions to educate our children. But that's what we focus our energy on. The new African Black Panther Party, that's what we do every day of our lives. We work for the people. We serve the people. That's the only way you can lead the people anywhere. Because once you build it, then they will come. But if you don't build it, they're not coming. General Secretary, you coming? I don't know how to
Yes, I'm coming. Leave everything.
You don't want me to close the camera?
I
Are
don't
you
want to close anything. I want you to see.
Oh, you don't want me to touch nothing? All right, tough. All right, toughie. You don't want me to touch nothing? Hold on, let me play something for the good people here. What should I play for the good people here?
The United Panther Movement are those who believe in our 10-point program, which is basically providing services to the community. Free breakfast program, free food program, free health clinic, pig patrol, and we have programs for the kids, after school programs, summer camps. We do all of this because we understand the importance and the needs of the people. So we're planning the community garden. This is the garden for the people. But we need help. We need help from you guys. So join the United Panther Movement.
To learn more, contact General Secretary Patience at 862-283-9917 or email patiencerow@yahoo.com. That is it. PATIENCEROW@yahoo.com. To help support the work we do.
Greetings, comrade. It's General Secretary Patience. I am going to finish out the show. On the screen, I have the city council meeting for this past week. Mr. Tillman is talking. He is talking about the North Employment Commission. So this commission is in charge of making sure that developers that come to the city are in compliance. They are in compliance with hiring Norkers. They're in compliance with, as far as tax abatements and rebates that the city gives to them as incentives to build in the city. According to Tillman, this North Employment Commission has not been operating, and he's been fighting with the city for the past 2 years to understand why it's not operating as it should, because Norkers aren't getting hired And these developers are building. They're not abiding by code. They're not paying their fines and things of those nature. And the reason why I took note of this, because a lot of the people that we work with need services. And one of those services is looking for work and looking for jobs that they can work in the city. And the city is supposed to provide those jobs through these developers that come to build in our city. So I'm going to let you listen to him speak further about the situation. Oh, sorry about that.
On October 28th, I met with Councilman Roundtree, Councilwoman Roundtree, Councilman Dupree, and Councilman De Silva, the Affirmative Action Committee, to discuss the state of affirmative action, the work, and the Newark resident employment policy. I can say.
So the Affirmative Action Committee apparently was put in place to cover the duties of the Newark Employment Commission, because they were arguing with Mr. Tillman for a long time, saying that they were in compliance because they have another office agency called the Affirmative Action Committee. But again, they met and they found out that the things that were supposed to be done are not being done. So he's going to further talk about that.
Yeah, we had a very productive meeting. We discussed a lot of detailed things regarding the ordinance, the amended ordinance, and Deputy Mayor Rahman Muhammad was right. There was an amendment that was done to the ordinance, the original ordinance, and that's where we are right now. However,
so Deputy Mayor Rahman Muhammad, he works for, I think, Newark Works or whatever career agency in the city of Newark that's supposed to provide Newark residents with jobs. And he's telling you that he was right, that the amendment, the ordinance, the law was amended, which moved responsibilities of this Newark Commission over to the Affirmative Action, which Deputy Rahman Muhammad is also part of. That's supposed to ensure that Newarkers are hired and that developers are in compliance.
But some of the things that were identified in there from the ordinance was that Newark Works was the new governing body responsible for the implementation of the Newark resident employment policy. And some of the specific things that were designated for Newark Works, as we discussed, aren't being done right now. One of the things that we discussed was the jobs posting that are supposed to be up on the city website. I was given by Ms. Karen Gaylord the website, www.nlwdb.org. That's www.nlwdb.org. This is the website that's supposed to contain the jobs for all the Newark residents, for the First Source, and for this construction. When I went up on the website, there are no jobs posted at all related to any employment of any opportunities at all. So that's a big concern that needs to be addressed.
I also went on that website because, excuse the background noise. I also went on that website because I'm also helping a Newark resident gentleman find a job. And he has experience in construction work, among other things. So I'm thinking I'm going to this website and it's going to have a list of construction work because there's a lot of development going on in Newark. So we're going to have a whole bunch of construction work jobs with residents to apply to. And you should go on this website yourself to see for yourself. It's nlwdb.org. And when you search up these jobs, they have jobs that are listed from 2020. I had clicked on it's food sanitation at University Hospital, posted December 2020. All these jobs are old, and most of them I haven't even seen a construction job yet. So I called the office and I was like, so how does this work? I see you have a job posted, but there's nowhere I can apply. There's no application or anything. Person on the phone tells me, no, you have to go to University Hospital website, apply to that job. And that's how you submit your application. I was like, okay, so then how do you guys help me get this job? He was like, oh, well, after you apply, you would call us and let us know that you apply, and then we'll do, what we do. We'll make phone calls or send emails to see if they could, grant you an interview. To me, that doesn't even sound like helping somebody get a job. That's something I could do myself. After I apply for a job, I could call them, send them emails, begging for an interview. So I say that to say, like, they say they have all these services for the residents and all of these programs, but when you really look into it, they're not there to help anybody. It's just, to me, I call them money schemes, because somebody has to pay for this website. Somebody has to pay these workers to pick up the phone if they feel like it and call University Hospital to look up my application and see if I'm even, if they'll even give me a interview. Somebody has to pay the lights on the building to house this program. But at the end of the day, none of the Newark residents are getting jobs, especially not jobs that's been posted since 4 years ago. But let me not. I could rant on forever. So we're going to continue with Mr. Tillman.
And we are going to continue to address that. The other thing that was brought up in that meeting was the Affirmative Action Review Council, which was, per the ordinance, the new government body according to the amendment, that's responsible for the enforcement and the monitoring of the Newark resident employment policy. From speaking with the clerk's office and also some of the members, this body has not been meeting at all to discuss any of the issues that has to do with the Newark resident employment policy, has to do with the construction development, has to do with whether these developers owe us money. There's no report card being kept at all on.
For 2 years, 2 years that I know that I could go back since I've been watching. Well, I've been watching the council meetings longer than that. But for the last 2 years, I saw Mr. Tillman come to city council, almost every city council meeting, talking about this Newark Employment Commission, how the city is not in compliance, how Newarkers are not getting jobs, how the developers are not getting penalized for the things that they're not in compliance with. Because when you penalize them, they're supposed to give the people, the city, money, which is supposed to go into the coffers to service the people. That's not happening. For 2 years, and for 2 years, city council, W. Rodman Muhammad told this man how wrong he was. At some points, I don't have the video because it would be too extensive and take up too much time. And in certain meetings, W. Rodman Muhammad would go up there, city council would go up there and try to humiliate this man and tell him how wrong he is. He don't know what he's talking about. We already have an office to handle all that, blah, 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 blah. Now, 2 years later, 2024, that means for 2 years, people weren't getting jobs. These developers was running rampant, not being held accountable. People not, like, the rent going high, because this commission, this ordinance is also in charge of making sure that rent don't go so high that people can't afford. For 2 years, everything that was supposed to be in place to protect Newarkers and the residents, it was not in place. And that's when we talk about, we go and complain to these people. These people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So there's no point in talking to them because they know what they're doing and they're going to do it anyway. And by the time you get them to do something about it, it's too late. 2 years later.
On these developments and these construction sites. Another thing that was identified in the ordinance was the first source registry is also supposed to be kept by the office.
Let me make it something clear. For 2 years, he's been complaining about this issue, but it's been decades that this commission has not been enforced, that the city has not been in compliance. Decades.
Of Newark Works. So understanding all of these things, and finally, after a year and somebody chasing this ordinance and trying to get Newark residents to work, we see that there are issues that need to be addressed to get Newark residents to work.
He said a year, but he's been complaining for 2 years because I've seen him since 20. Because I went back when I do research, I always go back. I had to go through all the agendas, and the agenda tell you the list of speakers. And the first, I think it was like towards the end of 2022. When he first came to the city council expressing concern about this. Because at one point he was working for the affirmative action office, and then he was not. And then, again, everybody has their own agenda. And then when he was no longer employed, that's when the issue with the commission came about.
With that being said, and understanding that, I think that it's only fair to the residents of Newark, particularly that this board right here that is supposed to be responsible for the monitoring and enforcement. And Councilman De Silva said that he was taking the lead on trying to get duties ordinance. However, Councilman De Silva, the only one that can appoint people to the commissions is the mayor. So this has to go to the mayor.
You hear that? The only one that can appoint people to this commission is the mayor. So the mayor knew, and whoever he appointed to this commission, he knew that they weren't going to do anything because that was the plan. He appointed people to all these different commissions, to all these nonprofits. Again, I believe, speculation, so that they could be loyal to him and hide his dirt or whatever. But again, he appoints these people. And in every single instance, if you look in all his agencies, all his organizations, you see the amount of ineptness, the incompetence, the lack of accountability. And it's done on purpose because he appoints these people.
His office. And so if you could send a request that this commission be looked at and be reestablished because they're not meeting. So with that being said, I would request that the council, and I'm glad that we don't have any tax abatements.
Why aren't they meeting? These are tax-funded programs, tax-funded departments. These are our tax dollars at work. They're there to serve and protect the people, but they're not even meeting. So how can they protect us? Why aren't they meeting? Who are supposed to make sure that they meet? Where's the oversight? These are appointed individuals by the mayor. Why are they not meeting?
Right now, that we do have an injunction until these things are corrected, and the administration have all these things that need to be corrected to get Newark residents to work.
He's saying that they should not vote not one single tax abatement for another developer until these things are in force and in compliance to protect Newark residents. You think they're going to listen to that? No. In the same council meeting, they passed an ordinance for L&M, the biggest slumlord, the management company that deal with Georgia King Village, that went to court, have over 700 violations, and the court gave them all the chances, and the court said that they weren't penalized. They could go ahead. So now the city is going to award them to go work on another project. I can't remember what the project is, but it's a millions of dollar project. Some of the activists went down on the same council meeting and told them, do not approve this. Do not approve it. And there's go Do Nothing Kelly in his ward. Every single one of them said yes to L&M while this man is talking to them about a ordinance, a law that they're not in compliance with. But they don't care because L&M is the one who filled their political coffers up. These slumlords, they are beholden to these slumlords.
And if Newark Works, I don't know if that's a separate governing body, because we did discuss with the BA about a request for a proposal for doing those services. If that's something that needs to be done, we need to look at that as well. Thank you very much.
Next, you're going to hear from Ms. Garland. She is in charge of Newark Works. She is the governing body mission that's over the city is in compliance. And you're going to hear from her next. So there was a meeting to discuss this same issue, but everybody showed up except for Newark Works. The person, the agency that is in charge of making sure that everything is up and running and it's in compliance. And that's what Ms. Roundtree is speaking to.
But you have, if someone from your department had to be there. Laura was there, everyone was there, as you mentioned. So.
Okay.
Now I'll yield.
All right, I'm sorry. Yes.
Karen Gabler, Newark Workforce Development Board, will be there. We'll make sure that somebody from Newark Works is there as well. And if I can add on the Mr. Tillman's question, it was a valid question regarding where can people find information about jobs related to construction in particular. He now has just the beginning of some information we shared earlier with him today on our website, which was stood up at the beginning of COVID.
She said he now has a little bit of the. Now, again, like I told you, I'm going to just say a year because he said a year. For the past year, he's been talking about this. Now we're at the end of 2024. They're just now releasing information. And why just to him? This is a public institution. It should be released to the public.
Because we wanted to have immediate access to reach people during COVID. So he now knows that at www.nlwdb.org, job postings exist on that site, flyers for training programs and for job fairs exist on.
So she came today because there's 2 meetings a month. It's the pre-meeting and then there's the, I guess you'll call it the regular meeting. She came during the pre-meeting, so he got that information. He had that information before he spoke at the regular meeting, so that's how he knows that the website didn't work. But again, here are these people, Black woman, Black girl magic, look like us. She is the director of this institution. She said they had this website. They created websites in COVID, but her websites haven't been updated. So, like, what are you, director, and your staff been doing since COVID?
That site. We have since, in the last 6 months, also stood up a new website called Newark Builds Newark, which is dedicated solely to construction and green.
I briefly went to that website, and to be honest, I don't remember if I saw any construction jobs. I do need to go back and look at it, but if anybody in the audience wants to scroll through that website and, share with us what you see, I would appreciate it.
Infrastructure jobs.
It's Newark Builds Newark, she says, the website.
Make that information available to everyone. In addition, we have at least 8 social media platforms and a very, very active texting app that we use to push out information about jobs. I think the thing that we could do.
She said a very active text. I've never received a text. I don't know anybody in Newark that received a text from the city of Newark talking about construction jobs. But hey, if anybody out there can prove me wrong, hit me up, let me know.
During COVID, could connect to, we can use technology in that way. Shouldn't be too difficult to.
But that's some basic stuff. Why wouldn't all the websites be connected? And this is since COVID. Nobody knows about these websites because they're not connected to the city of Newark. And nobody knows there's construction jobs out there because it's not being publicized. Like, why would the websites not be connected?
And I certainly will take that on.
And you would take that on as the director, not somebody that you would delegate to go handle your website, but you, the director, will go sit down and not be a director, but go be a website editor. That's what I mean, that he has people running departments that are not qualified, that have no idea what they're doing. Since COVID, your websites haven't been updated and connected to the City of Newark main website. And for the past year, this man been telling y'all haven't been in compliance with anything. But now y'all want to do that. Now y'all want to, I don't know, maybe because the new president isn't just got elected, that people now want to start doing stuff. But yeah, that's the end of our programming. If anybody would like to share, please feel free. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for now. So I see hands. Let me see. Do I see any hands up? Oh, that was just me. But yeah, if anybody likes to share, please, the lines are open. Other than that, that's it for our show. We'll be back next week. We still giving out food through our free food program. At least it's looking like 3 times a week now. We have our after-school program to support. Or if you want more information, you can call me 862-283-9917 or email me at patiencerow@yahoo.com. Send donations to Cash App. I live for the people. Venmo Zelle is the same phone number as well. Again, if there's no one have anything to say, I am heading out. Until next time, all power to the people. Basil, I see you unmuted. Are you good?
Yeah, I just want to say, of course, always a great show. You know, you do your due diligence with respect to doing your research. Just a great show. Yeah, I'm going to mention my show because I want people to come over and talk about it. Okay. Yeah, it's all empowering ourselves through education and action. We're here every Friday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Last week we had a discussion, of course, the election. Then I'm having people saying they want a part 2. So we're going to have a guest. We're having our guest, Professor Kevin Johnson. He's going to talk about the media, how they impact the elections as well. So if you guys want to hear about that and what's your opinion, what you think wrong, whatever, and offer, of course, suggestions, come on over to Empowering Ourselves Through Education on Friday evenings from 8 to 10 p.m. You know the number. Thanks so much, Patience. I really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. And anyone else before we close out?
Latoya,
all right.
Latoya, I was listening on. Great show. What show is this, actually? Hi, how are you?
Hi, this is who?
Latoya.
Hi, Latoya. Thank you for joining us. I didn't hear you. Can you repeat yourself?
Latoya?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, better. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I was listening in. What time do you come on, actually? What time do you start?
It's every Sunday at 12.
Oh, at 12. So I was just joining in by the time you was ending. Close to. So I didn't know you saw that.
No problem. The show will be posted on YouTube later on in the week. How did you hear about our show?
Just basically just a lineup. You know, every day. Once the show ends, somebody show come on. They
okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. Yes, we're here every Sunday at 12. Thank you so much for staying. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. But you did a good job. As you and the gentleman that was I was getting just about close to as y'all was talking about Newark.
Yes. That's Chairman Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for the information.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyone else? All right, y'all. This is All Power to the People podcast on Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself, Internet Radio. Be sure to check us out in other shows. There's a lot of great programming on Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself, YouTube. Until next time, all power to the people.